Hey, welcome back to Right on the Money, your go-to resource for the financial topics that matter to you. Now, if you're just joining us, we're here with Jeffrey Breed, CEO and founder of thecollegeplan.org. Jeffrey, great to have you here.
It's great being here.
College costs, they're just crazy. They're just crazy, and if you've got kids, if you've got grandkids out there, you're looking for a way to pay for them. And we are talking to an expert in this area, Jeffrey, which is why we have you here. And speaking of that, I think one thing that we need to talk about before we get into the strategies and tools that you're going to teach us on, if I'm out there watching this episode, what's my starting point? I'm a parent, what's my starting point?
Most people realize their starting point is to find somebody to do that FAFSA. The dreaded FAFSA.
What's it stand for?
It stands for the Free Application for Student Aid. And that's a government program that all colleges use to begin to try to measure up what families can and can't afford. And that's the starting point that usually they have to start with. As far as the student when they get into the senior year. They should start planning before the senior year.
Jeffrey, what's the best way for people to reach out? We've got your contact information. Is it pick up the phone?
We're here to help. Pick up the phone, email us. Any way we can help you, we want to do it.
If you're a parent, a grandparent, you hear about 529 plans, you hear about custodial accounts. I'm going to ask you about those in a second, but I think my biggest question that I think anybody watching this episode is asking, is it too late? My kid is a sophomore in high school. When's the best time? Is there a time when it's too late?
As far as the financial aspect or the planning?
The planning,
the planning, no. We found that juniors in high school are more concerned about the prom than they are college. Parents, however, are concerned about how we're going to pay for this next year, but they still have a tendency to put it off. The ideal time is to come in at the end of your junior year, coming in that summer, to begin to plan so they have their entire junior year to look at different colleges, to visit different colleges, look on websites, begin the scholarship searches. That's the ideal time to start.
I am blessed to be a grandparent. And so the apple of my eye, she's 4.5. And so I'm thinking as a grandparent of maybe doing some money for her, putting some things aside. I've heard of 529s. I know there's custodial plans. There's some other options. Could you maybe from 10,000 feet, tell us a little bit about those?
The 529 program, which in South Carolina is the tax deduction off your state taxes. So a lot of people like that. The key, however, is making sure that the 529 program is not in the parent's name.
Interesting, okay.
The reason is, if it's in the parent's name, then it has to be reported on the FAFSA. So that hurts you and goes against you as far as an asset. However,
as a grandparent,
your heart is exactly right. If you do it as a grandparent, it is not reportable on the FAFSA.
I'd be better off doing a 529 than an UTMA for my grandchild, or a custodial account?
Yeah, because of the tax deduction usually that you're allowed off your state taxes. And it's more controlled by the state than it is individual companies with UGMAs. So I'd say yes to that.
Maybe I read this wrong, but if I do a 529 plan, I control that. But if I do maybe a custodial account, does the kiddo get control?
At 18 years of age, it's technically theirs. So if they're driving away in their car saying, "See ya, Grandpa," you're out of Schlitz.
All right, well, so let me ask you this. So now let's talk a little bit about strategies. How do you guide the balancing act of preparing for college, but then also making sure that they don't forget about themselves, the parents?
Dennis, there's 156 strategies that I can use. So if we do number one, we'll be here all night. One of the things that's very, very important is to have them understand that college is a business, to treat it like a business. There are colleges, depending upon how much they need, that'll set up a payment program. So set up the payment program, pay it like any other bill. If that's not affordable, then certainly the Federal Education Loan Program is very, very instrumental. Now I get those parents that say, "We don't want to have to borrow money." Well, my question is then, is the kid going to college? The answer is, well, we do need funds. you actually can utilize the federal education loan program and take the money that you would have sent to the college, put it someplace else, earn interest on it, and then when the loans come due 4 years and 6 months later, take the money out, pay off the loan, and you've made money. So there's just one of the strategies. Another strategy that people don't realize is if you take your money out of an IRA or a 401k, then there's a 10% penalty if it's taken prior to age 59 and a half, right?
Yep.
Unless it's used for education. So I'm not suggesting that you spend your retirement dollars to put your child through college, but I've had people that it's more important to get that child's education than to be worried about their retirement 20 years from now. So they can use an IRA or their 401k and not pay an IRS penalty.
So it sounds like to me that there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of options.
Yes. Another example is a lot of parents bought the proverbial 20-pay life insurance policy when a kid first was born. And that policy might have $10,000 in it right now. So you can either borrow, or at that point you may not need that $5,000 worth of coverage because you've got group insurance or other policies. So you can use those funds without any ramification for the college education.
Yeah, Jeffrey, you know what I love? I only went to college once, but you have helped so many people get to school.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. And what I want to do, we're going to come back and we're going to talk and get some expert advice on navigating the college application process, the funding process, some tips, some tricks. You do not want to miss that. Also, remember, do us a favor if you get a chance, squeeze the like button, click subscribe. That way you won't miss a single show. We'll see you right back here in just a minute.